Hi, I'm Scott Olson, co-founder of LTCshop.com and author of Long-Term Care Insurance Now. Recently, a client told me that he didn't want to apply for a policy from the company we recommended for him because there was a consumer complaint website that gave this insurance company a rating of 1.1 stars out of a possible 5 stars. After doing a little investigating in that website, I found that every long-term care insurance company that was rated by this consumer website had poor ratings. But what's important is not the stars, but the actual complaints. So I printed out and read all 101 complaints about this company on this website. In this episode, we'll take a deep dive and read one of those complaints. But first, let's look at the big picture. This particular long-term care insurance company has 101 complaints on this consumer website. Most of the complaints are very old. 2/3 of the complaints are from 2002 to 2020. 1/3, about 30 complaints, are from 2020 to 2026. Let's not even consider the fact that there has been huge improvement to long-term care claims processing over the past several years. And let's suppose, just for argument's sake, that all 101 of these complaints are real, legitimate complaints. Over the past 25 years, this particular long-term care insurance company has paid tens of thousands of long-term care insurance claims. They've paid billions of dollars in long-term care insurance claims. Billions. 101 complaints compared to tens of thousands of claims paid, about 50,000 claims, judging from public sources. That works out to be about one complaint on this website for every 500 claims paid. I don't know about you, but if I have 500 customers and 499 of them are satisfied, I think I'm doing a pretty good job. Now, a minute ago, I said, let's suppose that all 101 of these complaints are real, legitimate complaints about this company's long-term care insurance, but they aren't. About 10% of the complaints aren't even about long-term care insurance. That's right. This website with consumer ratings about long-term care insurance, about 10% of the one-star ratings aren't even about long-term care insurance. They're about Medicare supplements, life insurance, medical insurance, annuities. Now, about 15% of the complaints are from people who don't understand the policy benefits or exclusions. For example, some people gave the company 1 star because the company wouldn't allow a relative to be paid to provide care. Now, most long-term care insurance policies won't pay a relative to provide care. If your loved one bought a policy that excludes care provided by a relative, the company can't change the policy. That's what they bought. Don't be mad at the company. Don't be mad at your relative. Just hire a qualified caregiver and then file the claim. Now, some people gave the company 1 star because their loved one died before the elimination period was fulfilled, and they got nothing from the policy. They had a 90-day elimination period, and their loved one only needed care for about 60 days before passing away. Your relative chose the elimination period when he or she applied for the policy. The company can't change the elimination period. It's not the company's fault. So what I'm saying is that a lot of the complaints are from people who don't understand the policy's limitations and exclusions. But still, every claim is important. Every policyholder is important. Every complaint is important. Let's read one of the complaints from a man in Florida. He wrote, "The policy in question had been paid on time for decades. We went to claim on long-term care for 2 elderly people. The experience was, and still is, abysmal. Everything takes 10 business days. Everything. They use contractors to do assessments, but they appear to have no idea who those contractors are. It took a month after the assessment for the paperwork to appear, and then only after multiple calls and follow-ups. They take no responsibility for anything, even when the action is on their part. They have found a number of administrative reasons to delay payment to the point where it became a financial burden. Escalation of anything is an exercise in extreme frustration, and their second-level supervisors are aggressive and extremely unhelpful, and will go so far as to tell you that you are lucky to have a policy with them. A month and a half in, and they just paid the first payout on a policy with no waiting period. Even that was not the full amount. Avoid at all costs. End quote. I'm going to read that line one more time. He wrote, a month and a half in, and they just paid the first payout on a policy with no waiting period. A month and a half in, and they just paid the first payout on a policy with no waiting period. So they filed a claim, and within 45 days, a month and a half, their claim was approved and the first reimbursement check received. This is a complaint? Really? You're complaining that you got a long-term care insurance claim approved and you received the check within 45 days? Is this really a complaint? This is exactly how long-term care insurance is supposed to work. You're not going to start the claims process today and get a check next week. The insurance company needs to verify the claim. They're required by law to verify the claim. They need a notice of claim. They need completed claim forms. They need to have a nurse assess the policyholder. They need a plan of care. They need a physician to certify that the policyholder is chronically ill. They usually need copies of medical records. They need a copy of the caregiver's license and training credentials. They need a monthly statement showing how much the care costs and proof of payment. When they have all this, then they can write a check. It usually takes at least 60 days, usually 90 days, to get all that done. And in this gentleman's case, it took only 45 days. And he's complaining. Now, with our next episode, we're going to look at this complaint again, line by line. I'm going to read each sentence and comment on it. You don't want to miss it. Thanks.